Welcome to Rev Up Your Business with Hilda Gann, the podcast for people-centric leaders, business owners, and HR professionals who know that people are at the heart of business success. Join me and industry experts as we explore the key aspects of building a thriving company, sharing cutting-edge strategies, impactful insights, and the latest trends to help you ignite your business growth. It's time to rev up your leadership, rev up your success. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Rev Up Your Business. Today, my guest is Laural Carr. She's an award-winning marketer, a Kolbe certified consultant, and a certified con method coach specializing in marketing mindset. She's a professional speaker and founder of Impagination Inc. What fuels her is a passion for helping leaders and owners of professional service businesses to identify their uniqueness, something that aligns with me, of course, and she finds their most efficient way to get noticed in order to engage with their future new best clients. Welcome, Laural.
Thank you, Hilda. I love that. Engage with your future next best client. That's what it's all about.
It is. And we're here today to focus on leadership confidence. How many of you feel like you're a confident leader? How many feel like sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not? Yeah, I think we're all there. And Laural and I really want to focus on what leadership confidence is and how we can really help you raise the bar. So let's start by saying, what shakes leadership confidence?
Oh my goodness, Hilda, one of the things that I love about your leadership ladder, if I can throw that in here, is that I can totally relate. I think we can all relate to when we were a novice leader, when we did not know what we were doing. We were trying to get things done, and we really made a lot of mistakes along the way. So I love to help people avoid as many of those mistakes as possible, because sometimes they're kind of either bad habits that we've gotten into, or it's a mindset where we think that, as my dad would always say, there's my way or the highway. There's those kinds of leaders, and we've all probably worked with one of those kinds of leaders, or maybe we've seen it come out of our own mouth that maybe there was a better way of saying what it is we need to do to actually accomplish the goal.
So what causes that? And I love how you use the novice. So for those who don't know my model, it's moving from a novice, aspiring leader to a motivated leader and an inspirational leader. How many of us would like to be an inspirational leader? And I know when we were at last event, a lot of people went, me, I'd like to do that. And some people are, at various stages. I remember somebody who I met, and I told them what I did for work. And I said, I do human resources consulting. Oh, I don't need you. I've made every mistake in the book. That's okay. Oh my God, why would you want to make every mistake in the book? So needless to say, she dismissed me. I dismissed her. We had nothing left in common to talk about. But some of those fears that people have, the anxiety, the imposter syndrome, what are the things that come up in your mind?
Well, what I hear from the clients I work with is that they may have never been there before. So what I like to say is, well, you know what? I never joined a gym before, and I didn't just, walk into a gym and start working out. I had somebody help me to break it down so that I knew what the steps are and the sequence that I need to work towards my fitness goal. And I think it's the same for leadership. We all will become better, stronger leaders by actually showing up and leading. However, there are those terrifying moments where, you're dealing with a difficult person, or you have not, there's a toxic relationship that's part of a team, or even, in my case, because I'm, looking at leadership for building your business, it could be a difficult relationship with a ideal client or a collaborator or a supplier or a vendor. And how do you make it work so that everybody wins? And that's what I like to believe a leader can do. A leader can make it so that everybody wins, regardless of where you are in the conversation. So it's more of a collaboration rather than that top-down structure that maybe HR people know I've seen more often.
Well, it's similar to what you're thinking. It's creating collaboration, and I always talk about creating a trusting relationship. Because when you have your best friend and they step on your toes, you think it's an accident, right? But when it's somebody you don't like, you don't get along with, they accidentally step on your toe. They did that deliberately, right? So when you create a trusting relationship, people are more likely to give you the benefit of a doubt. They're more likely to give that benefit of a doubt. And I remember one staff member who we were thinking during the tough recession years, we might have to close one of our offices. My husband and I went out to St. Catharines and we shared it with our staff, and then we spoke one-on-one with each of them. And this one person, he had twins at home, 10 months old at the time. And when I finished the conversation, I said to him, "So when would you like me to come back and tell you any updates?" And he said to me, "Hilda, you know me, and I trust you to tell me when the right time is." That conversation still rings in my ears and really shows you how, if you create trusting relationships, those difficult conversations aren't so awkward. And so this is the kinds of things that I think help people to learn how to be more confident. And I think you and I actually stumbled upon how can we help other people gain more confidence in who they are. You're going to have difficult conversations from time to time, but how do you do that? I think it comes to us thinking, how can we help people? And I like I like Fascination Advantage, and you like Kolbe. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But of all the tools that I've ever done, DISC, Myers-Briggs, Colors, and Strength Finders, the Fascination resonated with me, and I got my designation as a Fascination Certified Advisor. You similarly found Kolbe.
Yes.
And you can talk about Kolbe later, but what happened was when we kind of shared the other person's tools, we said, wow, what you do and what I do can make so much sense that we should do something together to help inspire people and help them transform their confidence, whether it's leadership confidence or confidence in dealing with clients, difficult people, for example.
And I agree that the more we know ourselves, the easier it is for us to lead others. So my clients report to me that they've been able to save a lot of time by making sure that everyone on their team knows that, for example, based on their Kolbe profile, their Kolbe index, they need as much information as possible before they make a decision. So they don't waste time by dribbling the information to that person until they have enough information. The team ensures that that person has all the information at once, and then a decision can be made. This is the power of knowing yourself and advocating for what you need as a leader, but also as a way of helping your team to be able to support you in the best way possible. So yes, I love Kolbe because it's really how each of us is intrinsically driven to act in a purposeful way. And I would say that in addition to being confident, leaders are purposeful. So if we can tap into what our own purposeful way of taking action, whether that's decision making, whether that's coming up with innovative ideas, whether that's coming up with plans, whether that's coming up with creating structure, physical structures, each one of these modes helps us to understand best how we will lead without the extra, well, I think the anxiety around not being sure is eliminated.
I know those people who are really who have really embraced Kolbe and use it. They totally understand. Oh yes, for example, I'm in Kolbe. I'm a quick start, and I love attention to detail. So when I'm doing research, I will dive down deep into the research. I know that, and I know I enjoy doing it. So rather than kind of fight it, I know that's who I am. I will do that. I need to discipline myself because I could get lost and spend a lot of time in it. But the more I know about myself, the better it is. And the more I don't have to second guess, well, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Right? And maybe you can give one more anecdote and I'll share a little bit about fascination.
Yeah, so with Kolbe, in addition to understanding where you have a lot of energy, as you've explained, Hilda, it also shows where we have less energy, and that maybe is an area that allows us to be more flexible. So, for example, you mentioned that you have a lot of energy for digging into details, and I love that about you. And some people are those people who can take a lot of information and then just cut through to the three top bullet points, the executive summary, so that things can move on, right? So we need the diversity of working styles together on a team to make sure that we often reward people when they're great at doing something really in depth and have a lot of energy and focus there. However, there are equally gifts in the fact that when someone doesn't have as much energy, for example, I don't have a lot of energy for creating an Excel spreadsheet, but if I can borrow from somebody who does, I'm very, very happy to fill in the Excel spreadsheet. So when you tap into what people naturally have to offer, you're really leading them, and they are able to bring more to the table.
So that's very similar to fascination. And fascination looks at the way people see you from a communications perspective. So yours is more how you process and problem solve the world. The fascination advantage looks at how you communicate and how people perceive the way you communicate. And it's so uncanny how accurate it is. And it's done in such a positive, everyday language that people, when they read it, can then apply it. What it identifies, similar to Kolbe, is it identifies your strength. It finds out of 7 different styles of language, which are your top 2, and which those top 2 are, think of it as fluency. These are your superpowers. It just flows off your tongue, and you can just speak it easily and quickly and confidently. And those that don't come flow easily, like your 7th ranked language, obviously isn't going to flow as readily as your superpower languages. And therefore, like Laural, find people who can do those things where your dormant language is their superpower. And when we work together, when we understand our own strengths, we are more confident. We show up with a greater sense of connection and confidence building, and look authentic because we're tapping into our natural selves. And this is the beauty when we both discovered that these 2 assessments really help you uncover your uniqueness. She uses that word. If you look at the word rev up in my company, the U stands for uniqueness. So Laural and I really connected on these two tools, which we feel will transform your understanding of yourself and transform your leadership confidence.
And I love that those who have attended our workshops, our 90-minute workshops recently, have shared how quickly they were able to apply what they learned about themselves to understand how to better communicate with either clients or, in their personal professional lives, or as a leader of a team, as well as how they can accept who they are. Because I think that's where the imposter syndrome comes from, right? Is that I don't, maybe I do think of myself as quirky, but I didn't realize that those particular quirks are actually something that are gifts. And as I listened to one of my favorite podcasts, Terry O'Reilly and Under the Influence, he was talking about vehicles. He was talking about how the outside of the vehicle is really a brand statement. And I would say Fascination Advantage is about the outside, right? This is how people see you, right? What color vehicle, what style vehicle, etc. And then he said, on the inside, that's where your power comes from in terms of how you drive. And I just love that, because I think as leaders, that's what we're doing, right? We are driving, and we need to know how we drive, and we need to know how the people around us are driving as well.
And when you drive in places that are familiar, it's so natural, right? When you're driving to a place that's new and it's on the opposite side, not the wrong side, but the opposite side of the road. This is not instinctual, right? This is high alert mode. It takes you a lot of time. So what we've discovered is these two tools, even when we do like our workshops and we give everybody a taste of Kolbe and a taste of Fascination, it is transformational, even in that 5 minutes. I remember one of our people said, what Laural and Hilda did in 90 minutes, with just the taste of these two was so, it was so engaging and so informative and educational. Imagine what if, getting into it and diving in a little deeper and understanding how much it can transform you. And you and I were at an event recently, and one of the people had attended our live session back in November. And she said, Hilda, I want to tell you that session was so good. It was a game changer. And I mean, a game changer. You just got the taste of, and you had a game changer. And she was talking about how she had been living in a world where she's kind of been building her strengths and letting people say, see me, see me, see me. But now she says, but the see me has been in line with what the norm is to progress. I want to break free of that. She called it the sticky floor, and that she wasn't able to even break through the glass ceiling. She was saying it was a sticky floor. And so now she said, I've forgotten who I was, and I need to embrace that again. I need to uncover me and make me shine. And that was so, that word game changing was so inspiring to me to hear that.
100%. I love that. And I don't love the concept of a sticky floor, but I can totally understand that. And it's just imagine the energy it takes to stay in this, mode that is not natural, right? Or is not a reflection of who you are. And what I share with my clients is if you show up as your authentic self, one of the things we know is that authenticity is the highest form of connection. So yes, you might not connect with everybody, but when you connect with someone with authenticity, you build that know, like, and trust factor that is so important in terms of sales, in terms of persuasion, in terms of building a team. all of those things require a real high level of authenticity to win over the hearts and minds of the people that you're working with.
And people can feel it. They may not know how to nail it, but somehow intuitively we kind of, our gut will say, geez, I resonate with that person, or geez, that person looks like they could sell me, something that I really don't want and don't need, and go away, like people instinctively feel that kind of stuff. And when people can, drive, on the highway that they're very familiar with ease, when they can speak with authenticity, then people really do make that connection. And when you do know, like, and trust, that's when you move forward. You give people that benefit of the doubt, and not just the benefit of the doubt, the trust factor that people are going to guide you and lead you where you want to go. So I want to talk now about our program, because we said we found this, we're doing some seminars to give people a taste of what it's like to uncover themselves and to transform in a way that will make a difference in your confidence level, in your ability to lead others and connect with others. It's not just leadership, it's communication confidence. It's everyday confidence, whether you're dealing, you mentioned clients, or if you've got staff, but even your family and your children.
Absolutely.
I always say it can be done with children. If you could give your children the understanding of what their uniqueness is, allow them to nurture that natural instinctive way of processing the world, of communicating with the world, imagine how much happier all of us can be if we're in our own true self.
Oh, I love that. And that is my goal. Like, that is my mission. My mission is, and I'm passionate about it, I want people to understand who they uniquely are. We don't all have, we didn't all grow up with those messages. There were a lot of reasons for that. But in the culture and society that we now have, the sooner we can be who we truly are, and and let that shine, and let other people shine as well, I think we create a much better work environment and personal environment. So anything that anyone is going to take away from any of our workshops will be applicable in their personal life as well as their professional life. And I know my entire family knows their Kolbe, and I know your entire family knows their Fascination Advantage, and it makes communicating much easier. We can laugh about things because we know there are certain things that we would not do the same way. We accommodate each other, and it's like you said about, stubbing your toe. It's, we know it's not on purpose to be difficult. It is just who they are, and we get to love them for who they are.
And that's what I find the beauty of our two tools, is that when you begin to understand that everybody has their uniqueness, and when they use it, they're not doing it to spite you or to make your life difficult. This is where they shine. And when they know that where they shine, it's not exactly what you want, you start to accommodate each other and kind of laugh at your idiosyncrasies. My husband is, in the language of fascination, power. He can make decisions fairly quickly. And what he loves is, I only need the facts, and it's not all the facts. He said, you give me 5 facts, I can make the decision. I do not need 20 facts. I do not need all your fact finding, Hilda, at the nth degree. So when you have that kind of boss, and they just need enough to make a decision, which one of those 20 facts are you going to share with them so that they have enough? And if they want more, they'll ask you, right? So learning how to kind of respect each other so that we're not stressed about each other really does help. I think for those people, I always say, so if somebody's been really bugging you and you can't stand them, you may find that now you tolerate them, or that you really actually respect, and that's my goal, is that you respect and value the strengths that each one of us brings to a group, whether the group is family or whatever. I used my family's fascination during COVID to help understand how they were coping, and why some people were really attention to detail and others were just, reading all the information that they could so that they could make sense of the world. So each one of them had their own way of coping, and I valued and supported us all trying to get through that. So let's talk about how we can help people more than just the 90-minute seminars that we have been doing. We have a program that is called Business Leadership Breakthrough. And Laural and I have been kind of working on this for a bit and thinking it's not just 1+1. And I used to say equals 5. Laural says 1+1 = 11. Now she's an innovator in the language of fascination. So she was even more out of the box than my 1+1 is 5.
And I like all those ones. Let's face it.
Whether it's 5 or 11, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm really excited about for the program is that 90 minutes is kind of a magic amount of time, especially for a virtual program. It's enough time to do a deep dive and to give participants a chance to share with each other and practice what they've learned. And each of the sessions will be very focused and very easy to apply. Leaving this, within the session and then leaving the session. So we'll have 4 of those 90-minute deep dive sessions that will create a real powerhouse of leadership energy for all the participants. Each person will have the ability to complete their Kolbe assessment as well as fascination.
And so some of the sessions one session will focus on the Kolbe and how it applies. And working in a group setting, you get to learn about other people's strengths in the various areas. And then you go, and oftentimes you can correlate to my son is like that, or my husband, or my coworkers, like, yeah, they do that. So it's not only just learning about yourself, you're learning in that group setting about others. And then there'll be one session that just focuses on the fascination. And then we'll focus on how do you apply this and where do you want to go with this?
Especially because communication is very key with both tools. So when we do a deep dive on communication, it'll be so impactful for people to be able to both see how they're influenced through Fascination Advantage and also through the Kolbe assessment.
And we'll share too the applicability, not just for your one-on-one, because both Laural and I in our own programs use it for team analysis. We do it for team building and helping teams understand the strengths and values of each other so that they can even work more effectively and more productively and more as a cohesive team than if they were just separately learning how to do this by themselves.
And this is where I feel like we are like the trainers at the gym, right? You don't need to come in knowing how to be a leader. We are going to give you the tools to help you discover what's the most natural way for you to lead. And then you'll have time between the sessions to practice and come back with your questions between sessions. We'll have a chat accessible to everyone. We'll be checking in with people. We'll be looking to see how other people share their experiences, because that's one of the things that my clients, when they, Hilda and I have each worked with hundreds of clients, and within a week, I get feedback that, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing this before you gave me my Kolbe interpretation. And now that I understand this, I have changed my approach, and I'm getting a much better response. So it's could be a small tweak, it could be a big aha moment.
I remember when I did one of my trainings, Fascination, and this person just assumed that, well, when I say something, people understand, right? And so suddenly, I don't know where she was during life, she realized it's a two-way thing, and she became more of a listener and also trying to understand which of the seven languages was this person's forte and how do I effectively communicate with them, knowing that they are an alert person or a trust person or a passion person. And then she phoned me one day. It was like after 5 o'clock, and she phoned me, and I saw the phone. I answered. She said, Hilda, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you this. Ever since I took the course, I feel more effective in my communication. And my son and I had this wonderful conversation. He says, Mom, you're such a great listener. Now, this obviously wasn't always the way that the mother and son had relationships, but she said, wow, it's working for me. And then she was in the dentist's office and doing something, and the person said, wow, you're a really good listener. I just, and she said, yes, it's really working for me. It's made a difference in my way of thinking. And she knew now how she came across positively, and she was coming across in her most confident self. So I thought that was worth picking up the phone after 5 o'clock.
I love that story. I love that story. And see, these are the small wins that lead us to becoming an inspirational leader, right? Because once you unlock this for yourself, you will start to see it helping others as well. And that's where Hilda and I have worked with teams so that they can all understand each other better. But at this point, at this point, we really want leaders, people in positions of leadership, whether that's leading a business, leading a team, leading sales, leading a community group, an association, a board, anyone who is in a position of leadership, leading your family, anyone who's in a position of leadership who wants to get some insights. I think this program is uniquely set up for you to walk away with easy wins out of every session.
I remember there was one person who has done Kolbe before, and he was sharing with you what he thought of the webinar that we took, and he's actually signing up for our January program.
And I think that when we talk about leadership confidence, confidence comes from seeing those wins. And those wins could be, oh, I learned that this doesn't work. This is still a win in my book.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're now not going to do that thing, and you will get great feedback through the program on alternative ways to deal with certain situations that maybe didn't work.
You and I are both very passionate. We want to make a difference in the world. We want to help people be more confident in who we are, they are. And that's why we created this program. And we believe that with our 90-minute sessions, learning about yourself through Kolbe and Fascination, that combination is going to literally transform your leadership, your confidence, and your way of seeing the world in terms of potential, your potential of others. And that'll give you even more positive framework. So if you're looking for something that's going to be transformational, sustainable, evolving you into a much more insightful, confident leader, then connect with us and learn more about it. We really want to help. We're excited to help people because that's who we are. And we know the one-on-one information that we will give during these sessions will help individuals, and then the group, being part of a group, will then even manifest itself multiple fold.
I like to believe that this is a no-lose situation. Both of us are win-win people, We would not be bringing this program to life if we didn't know that it would result in a positive impact on everyone who participates. And one of the things that really touches me is the number of people who come to our 90-minute workshops and have said, I want you to come in and do this session for this group that I belong to. Everybody needs to know more about how they can be a more natural leader.
So, how do people get a hold of us if they want to know more about how they can make those transformations in their confident leadership?
Well, anyone can reach out to me or to me through Impagination's email. Here's the spelling. I'm going to tell you it's a long one, or just Google my name, info@impaginationinc.com. I will be happy to answer any questions or to give any direction on the Business Leadership Breakthrough Program. I'm so excited and delighted to be collaborating with Hilda on this program.
And as am I think it's so joyful to hear what we're doing is resonating with people. And when people tell us what they think, that just reinforces that what we've created is something special that will impact the lives of the people that take the program. So they can get a hold of me at info@peoplebrightconsulting.com, or they can go and directly email me at hildagan@peoplebrightconsulting.com. I've enjoyed chatting, Laural, and talking about leadership confidence and what we too have uncovered that will help others gain their confident ways of leading.
This is always a pleasure, Hilda. I really, really appreciate your approach. And I think bringing two people who are passionate about this topic together, it lifts me, and I hope it will lift everyone who is interested in learning more.
Thank you for joining me today, Laural, and for our ongoing relationship and continuing to build our program to touch others. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Hilda.
And for those of you who've listened today, you know how to get a hold of us. Do subscribe if you are not already subscribed to our channel to listen to more Rev Up Your Business podcasts, where I invite specialists to talk about their expertise and what they do to help build better businesses. Have a great day. Thanks. Thank you for tuning in to Rev Up Your Business with Hilda Gan. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify to stay up to date with all of our latest episodes. For more HR tips, strategies, and to learn how you can create a people-centric workplace, visit our website at peoplebrightconsulting.com.